What's up, guys? We just made it to our destination to climb this mountain. I renamed it Simba Peak, but I can't really call it. It's like Sniktau Peak in Colorado. We came out here for a wedding, and I wanted to do a 14er, but we can't, so we're gonna do a 13er, and it's gonna be an awesome time. So rules of hiking. 1, make sure you always have the right gear before you start any climb, and double check it. Make sure you always have some type of first aid kit with you, just in case you have minor cuts, burns, scrapes, stuff like that. And that you always readjust your poles ahead of time, but you can always adjust them again if they're not the right fit on the trail, like Casey's doing right now. And if you haven't heard the joke about hydration, it goes like this. It's not a joke. Make sure you drink water. We're almost to the second fault summit. As you can see, we got lost from the first summit. When you get to the first fault summit, I should say, you want to make sure you take a left and not a right. The right leads to a different peak. We got about maybe a mile into it. Well, it's more like 500 yards to a mile, I don't know. And we realized it was the wrong way. So now we're finally almost to the second fault summit, and we should be to the top probably in about 45 minutes. Guys can't hear me. We're on fault summit number 2. We're gonna take a little break. The real summit is behind me. I'm gonna hydrate really quick, drink, eat some sport beans, and make our way to the real summit. We're kind of on a time crunch now since we went out of our way, but it's beautiful up here, and I'm super glad that I did the trip. If you only have a limited amount of time in Colorado and you want to get a good climb and you only have a couple hours, definitely recommend this hike. Made it to the top. And there's bikers. Now it's time to say goodbye to the peak. We're gonna head down and we'll see you guys at the base of the mountain. Alright, we're back from the base of the mountain. We're in the car driving to Starbucks because I have a super bad headache from not having enough caffeine in the morning. But that is what it is. The hike itself though was amazing. Yes. I recommend getting there early. We got there at 6 o'clock and the parking lot had about 5 or 6 cars in it. It's now 10 o'clock and the parking lot was super full and people are parking on the side of the road, so we'll get there early. Even though it's a short hike, I'd still recommend getting there early. And honestly, if I could do the hike all over again, I would get there even earlier, like at 4 o'clock, so I can actually see the sunrise from the peak. It takes about 2 hours to get to the peak, so it's really not that bad. Especially if you're like us, then you have to be back in Denver in a couple of hours. So if you want a quick hike, it's excellent. And I know it's called like Sniktau Mountain, but I would rename it Pika Mountain because there are pikas everywhere. And you can enjoy your breakfast on the top of the mountain and a little pikas just come out and sunbathe next to you. It is literally the coolest experience I've ever had in my life.
And there's marmots.
And there's marmots. They're not as cool as the pika in my